The Delaware Division of the Arts brings you Arts Alive Delaware, a chance for everyone to experience the vibrant performances and engaging programs showcasing the rich tapestry of local artists and cultural organizations in Delaware. Join us and explore Delaware's dynamic creative community, guaranteed to ignite your curiosity and leave you searching for your next cultural experience.
Hi, I'm Molly Giordano, and you are watching Arts Alive Delaware. The primary role of the Delaware Art Museum is the premier visual arts organization in our state. We, of course, are here to protect, preserve, and educate our community around our collection, much of which has been given to us by the community. But we're also a place to foster connections, to invite people in to have social experiences around art, to provide educational opportunities for our school students and our youth. And I firmly believe that the Delaware Art Museum is one of the most important places in the state that you have access to original artistic content, and you can interact with many different diverse community members. The Delaware Art Museum is located near Rockford Park, and we have a beautiful campus, a sprawling sculpture garden, the only real sculpture park in the state. We're in a beautiful residential neighborhood. It's the perfect place for a relaxing afternoon. The museum's primary audience is the Delaware community, and we mean our full and diverse community. We serve everyone from infants up through people in their 80s and 90s. We even have some supporters in their 100s. Our primary purpose is to provide educational experiences for all age groups, social interactions through art, and a chance for people to experience the visual arts in our community, including the history of the art in our community. When you arrive at the Delaware Art Museum, you can enter two ways. You can come through our historic arches that signify the original building built in 1937, or you can park behind the museum and meander through our beautiful sculpture garden. Once you're inside, our main entry hall and our orientation space welcomes visitors to understand not only the history of the museum and our founding collections, but you'll meet some of the diverse community members in our orientation video that are welcoming you in and explaining why they care about the museum. From there, you can explore any number of our permanent collection galleries, from Howard Pyle, the founding artist of our collection, up through our massive contemporary space where we house both regional and nationally famous contemporary American artists. We also have a fantastic temporary exhibition space where we host 3 very large rotating exhibitions each year, as well as a Kids Corner. Kids Corner is personally the favorite of my 2 children. It's a hands-on, interactive, experiential space that is created by a local artistic family. And we are so excited that we've just hired a new family in residence, so be on the lookout later this year or early next year for a new installation. We also have a cafe, a store, and just many other vibrant spaces for gathering. The museum sculpture garden, again, the only of its kind in the state, is where we are showcasing both regional artists as well as national artists. There's something for everybody in this garden, whether it's our iconic Crying Giant sculpture by Tom Otterness that greets visitors as soon as they drive onto our property, or some of the more hidden gem pieces that are farther along the sculpture garden trail. We also have a labyrinth, an old water reservoir that volunteers lovingly hand-created a stone labyrinth for meditation and reflection. People are always amazed when they come to the sculpture garden that there's an experience like this in Delaware. And of course, we lean on that space for our social events, our community events, and an entry point to introduce our community to the museum. The museum runs many community events each year, from our summer Thursday evening free happy hours in the sculpture garden, which are a family-friendly opportunity to engage with the art and to come inside during our extended free hours to see our collection and exhibitions, to our special community festivals and programs. This summer, we had a Juneteenth celebration, our 2nd annual powwow for arts and culture, created in partnership with our Indigenous leaders. In the fall, we return with Dia de los Muertos, and many other community festivals and activities. The thing I love about the Delaware Art Museum is we are one of the leading arts organizations in the state and the leading visual arts organization for our community. It is not only our role, but it is our job to partner with diverse and wide array of organizations, both arts and non-arts, to make sure that we are fully reflecting the culture of our communities here at the museum. So we work hand in hand with advisory committees on special exhibitions, such as our 2021 Afro-American Images exhibition, to our large events like the Powwow of Arts and Culture. We could not do any of these activities without the full partnership and support of our community. Like always, the fall is a very busy time at the Delaware Art Museum. This fall is very special. This museum has one of the largest collections of British pre-Raphaelite art in the world, thanks to Wilmington industrialist Samuel Bancroft, who bequeathed his collection almost 100 years ago. There are so many ways to get involved with the Delaware Art Museum. You, of course, can join us as a member. We rely on memberships to support this institution. You can follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, sign up for our email list, visit delart.org to book your next program, class, summer camp experience, or just show up. Just show up to the museum, talk to somebody at the front desk. We always say Delaware is a state of neighbors, and the Delaware Art Museum is no different. We are very accessible and always eager to meet people who want to get involved. I moved to Delaware because of its culture. In such a small community, we have access to robust arts and culture organizations. It's not a given that these organizations will continue forever if the community doesn't work in partnership, hand in hand with our cultural assets like the Delaware Art Museum to find a way to support them. I would always ask community members to ask yourself, what would my life look like if the Art Museum, the Symphony, any number of organizations you love weren't here? How would this impact the quality of our life? What would our state look like? And that is the answer to why you should support the arts. The arts have impacted my own life in more ways than I can count. My mother was an artist. She ran a community art center in my hometown in West Virginia. In many ways, I was raised at that community art center. I'm a writer, I write fiction. My brother writes plays. The arts is just deeply in the bones of who we are and how I view the world. And I see the arts as a public service. When you ask people, what would you do if you didn't have to worry about money? 9 times out of 10, they describe the artistic passion or pursuit they would spend their time on. I think in all of us, the arts is critical and it's important. And the Art Museum is where everybody, no matter your background, can have that experience.
And I'm Ashley.
And you're watching Arts Alive Delaware. DIAE's role in Delaware's arts community really centers with our school partners. We do arts-based and arts-integrated school programs during the school day in schools and early learning centers across the state.
Oftentimes, people might call DIAE Delaware's best kept secret. We've been in existence for 40 years, but because so much of our work happens in school during the school day with teachers and students in the classroom, oftentimes parents, caregivers, family members might not know what it is and what it looks like. We really focus on arts integration. That means we use the ideals of finding an opportunity for arts to be included, not just as a once-off or a special that occurs once a week, but that arts can live in every subject all day long in the classroom. So there's a space for the arts in English, in math, in social studies, in our STEM programs. And so what we do is we try to help classroom teachers find and discover ways that they can continue to use the arts to teach whatever it is that they're doing.
We have a wonderful team of teaching artists. We have 23 teaching artists on our roster currently, and they cross the visual and performing arts, artistic disciplines. I think that's something that really is special about DIAE, and has been something really exciting for me to learn it in my first year here. So we have teaching artists who can lead residencies in different styles of dance, artists whose home disciplines range from photography, spoken word poetry, collage, painting, and the list goes on and on.
So there are 3 different ways that schools can choose to engage with us. Our keynote program is our K-12 in-school artist residency. It's modeled after the Lincoln Center Institute for Aesthetic Education. And in that case, the teacher might discover, oh, there's this cool happening that's coming into the state. So it might be an exhibition at the Bigs, it might be a performance at the Grand, it might be they really want to work with our poet laureates, or the twin poets here in the state. And so what will happen is the school would get in contact with us, or the administration might get in contact with us, and we start to work together to figure out how can we bring a teaching artist into the classroom to help prep the students to see the thing at the end of it. And so it's lovely because it's very, very collaborative between the teaching artist, the classroom teacher, the school, and us, to really make sure that there's an opportunity and synchronicity between all of those individuals.
Because we do have a team of cross-disciplinary teaching artists, we find we're starting to be invited to lead school-wide and even district-wide teacher professional development, which is very exciting because we have teaching artists that can reach the music teachers in a school, the arts teachers in the school, and if there are theater and dance, that's the case for those folks as well. Our early childhood program, our Delaware Wolf Trap program, we are a state affiliate of the Wolf Trap Institute for Early Learning Through the Arts. And that is a teacher professional development that happens in the classroom with early childhood educators and their 3 to 5-year-olds. And so there are 2 levels of benefit with that program. The teachers get the professional development, but it happens with the students in the classroom. So similar to what Ashley said about our flagship program, the Artist in Residency program, teachers will contact us when they're interested in hosting a residency. Administrators will often reach out, and sometimes we learn, about schools that might be interested, and we reach out to them first as well.
Because the work that we do in the K-12 spaces is often focused on some sort of final production or final performance or something like that. It's really important for us to have partners throughout the state that can host and present those types of artists, musicians. And so some of our partners include the Delaware Art Museum, the Delaware Center, or Delaware Contemporary, the Bigs, the Grand in its various performance stages. But in addition to that, we love the opportunity to really work with our local artists that are doing work. So whether that's Distant Voices Touring Theater, or if that's the Twin Poets, our poet laureates, or Tahira, who is an amazing spoken word artist and storyteller. We love the opportunity to be able to not only support the work of our larger institutional partners, but also the various independent artists that are working throughout the state, and encourage them to continue to find work in the state and make those connections with the students who are here local to Delaware, who might be thinking, oh, I think I might like to be an artist. Oh, I might like to do this as a professional, and I don't have to go away somewhere. It keeps that talent right here in the state so that we can continue to enjoy it, not just for our work and in our classrooms, but the community at large.
So I think one of how we think about student growth and track that when we observe it in the classroom, I think about DIAE's goal is really to nurture the next generation of arts lovers and arts patrons. Unlike some of our arts organization colleagues who are training students to participate and to excel and perhaps even develop careers in the arts, we're really taking a wide view and looking at how we can help build upon what's happening in the general classroom to help every student think like an artist, to go see an exhibition or a live performance and to have a residency that leads them to that so they can see something of themselves, they can see something of how that exhibition connects with their learning. So we're really thinking about how can we help young people think like an artist, and what does that mean for them in terms of 21st century skills, in terms of their arts adjacent goals.
I agree. Our big goal is, as AT mentioned, is not to develop the next cadre of artists. It's really about that interest and sparking that interest individually in whatever way it works for the students. However, one of the things that is true is that we see some growth in very micro levels. AT mentioned earlier about our early childhood program, Delaware Wolf Track. There was one teaching artist that was working with a classroom that was 3 and 4-year-olds. And the student who was in the classroom did not talk, as some 3 and 4-year-olds don't. There was no medical reason for that. It was a choice that the child was making. However, after several weeks with the teaching artist coming in 30 minutes twice a week, not working with that child specifically, but working in general with the class and really working with the teacher to say, okay, these are different things that we can do in the classroom that encourage art making. After about 8 weeks or so, the teacher heard a little voice singing and coming from the corner, and finally was able to realize, oh, it's this child that hasn't been talking, but that child was singing the welcome song that the teaching artist would sing each day that she came in. And so it's small moments like that, and I don't point to that just as, okay, this is what DIAE does, but really it speaks to the power of arts integration. When you have opportunities for students to learn in a variety of different ways and to receive the information in a variety of different ways, you don't know what will click for their brains. And so by saying, okay, well, we can learn how to count by doing counting. We can learn how to count by doing a dance. We can learn how to count by singing a song. It might be that singing the song part clicked for that child. And then as a result of that, now that information, that big goal of counting is stuck in for them.
We're always looking for new teacher partners, and how teachers can get in touch with us is to reach out to us via our website. That's probably the most efficient way to get in touch with us. And we're also always out with our little cards trying to meet teachers and identify folks for whom this would be a valuable collaboration with them. So DIAE operates from the understanding that every child in Delaware deserves a high-quality education. And included in any high-quality education are the arts. The arts have to be a component of that. But what we know to be true in our home state is that access to high-quality arts education is inconsistent. And it's based largely on the socioeconomic conditions of the school and the surrounding neighborhood, as well as the geography of the school. And so we want to advocate for folks to support the arts as they nurture the next generation of young people coming out into the world. We know the value of collaboration, critical thinking, thinking across disciplines is something that's asked of us regularly as adults, and the arts nurture those skills in young people.
I think another value of DIAE and a reason to support the work that both we are doing and then the work that our greater arts organizations are doing is, if we think about the pandemic, when everyone was locked up, what was the thing that kept us all afloat? You were going outside and doing group sing-alongs with your neighbors, or maybe you were binge watching a series through shared viewing on Netflix, or you learned how to paint in your basement and were watching some of the some amazing visual artists lead tutorials on YouTube. The arts are the thing that carried us through. The arts are the things that connect us. And so while, yes, it is important to make sure that students have the foundational understanding of, for lack of a better word, core curricula, it is just as important to find opportunities and access to develop creativity and to be able to think in ways that are unconventional, to step outside of yourself and to try something new. And so finding opportunities to support DIAE and to partner with us, and then also finding ways to support the local artists and the local art institutions are so invaluable, so like beyond value, in order to make sure that we have a thriving and healthy community in the state.
My name is Fred Munzert, and this is the Milton Theatre. So the local area is a small town. We're 3,500 people here in Milton. It pretty much looks like small town America. It's really a great community, super walkable. A lot of people, when they come, refer to it saying it feels like Mayberry, like you're going back in time, nice river to walk on. And then coming to the theater, you really see what looks like a traditional old school movie theater in a small town. Coming through the doors, when I first came in 10 years ago, I felt like I could have been in a big city in a small venue somewhere. Beautiful exposed brick and really organic, natural feel. So it really fits nicely within the community. Well, the Milton Theatre has been here and a part of the community for 110 years. It was originally built as a movie theater and has been many, many things over the years, including a fire hall, a basketball court, a restaurant. It's been back and forth between the arts and not the arts. We came in 10 years ago after the theater had been shuttered for several years to reopen the theater to be a viable art scene. And since then have gone from 75 performances a year to over 400 performances a year and seeing about 60,000 people a year through the doors. So in Sussex County, we're a viable part of the arts community. The audience we serve is varied. We serve everything from young children all the way up to senior citizens. I would say on both ends of those age groups are the main people we serve. We have a very vibrant children's program, education program year-round that is sold out year-round. And then we have, Sussex County is really full of a lot of senior citizens, people who are semi-retired and retired, very active. So we see them in our venue multiple times a week. And so we also fill in the gaps in between, but we really have something for everyone. It's been our goal to have a program that would really be across the board, something that anyone could find, whether it was rock and roll, classical, for kids or for adults, that they would find something that they like to do. I have to say, when I get feedback from people coming in and saying that they really felt changed by what they saw. Recently dealt with an adult that had never been to a theater ever in his life. And we gave them a ticket. They're a local business owner. They came to watch a show. And the next day I saw him at his place of business and he said, I was completely transformed. I can't believe what that experience was like. And then later followed it up to tell me that he had never been inside a theater in his entire life. And that really impacted me and made me see that what we do day in and day out is so critical for people. I believe the arts is so important to a community. How it impacts people is enormous. We can't always see that. The best way to support the arts is to attend, to buy a ticket, to attend an art opening, to be there. Our philosophy here is really that we want to present something that the community wants. So as an arts organization, we really look for what they want to see and what they want to do. Someone really wise told me years ago, he said, it ain't show friends. And a little bit colloquialism, but it's true that the business side of it is so important, and we can get so busy checking boxes and finding those things that we need to do that we forget that the community outside the door has something they want. So we really look for, from a business perspective, the product that they want. We want to put on the shelf what they want to buy. So we really curate and look very hard to find things that the community is interested in and wants to be a part of. So buying a ticket and being there is the best way to support the arts. Our focus has always been to have something for everyone. And I would say that a large percentage of the people that we serve are in that young group and in the older group. We have lots of kids programs that are sold out year round. And then Sussex County is really a place where a lot of people are semi-retired or retired and very active. So we have a lot of programming for them, a lot of shows that they like, as well as auxiliary programs that they would come and take part in. So the way we collaborate is really depending on the nature of the programming. We certainly work with the local schools in the area. 3 schools can walk here from their location, so it's a really great partnership that we have with them. We also work with other arts organizations in the area presenting joint programs. And then even statewide, we work with Wilmington Ballet and Opera Delaware, and we work on programs together here and present them here within our venue. Sussex County is really an area that is really thriving and growing, but the art scene is really, I would say, an infancy stage. So we really work hard to pull in as many of the local organizations, working together with them to create the best environment we can. And we also work with the FAME program in our local public school, which we see about 500 students a year. The programming is diverse. It's both presenting and producing. On our presenting side, we book shows and acts that already exist that we bring in. You can see everything across the board. We have children's shows that come through, tribute bands, original bands, and every genre. You can see rock music, you can see classical chamber music. You really can see just about everything. We also have live comedy shows as well as drag shows and things like that. So there truly is something for everyone.